Today I am chatting with actor and musician John Altman. Hello, John.
Hi, Steve.
Right, tell you what, just a couple of quick questions for you, my good man. Let's start by, can you tell our listeners a little bit about your childhood and where you were born?
Well, I was brought up in the Berkshire countryside in the Thames Valley, and then I moved to North Kent on the southeast coast of England. And it was there that I self-taught myself to play the drums and got involved in theatre. And I roaded for a rock band called Turnstile. And so that's basically where I was brought up.
Did you have any major influences when you were a child?
Plenty of them, yeah. Yeah, because I grew up in the late 50s, early 60s. So I remember hearing the Beatles on the radio and thinking that sounded really different. And I really got into them. Uh-huh. And then there's The Who. Jimi Hendrix. I met Jimi Hendrix actually. He was on a tour of the UK with the Pink Floyd and the Nice and a few other people. And so I've always had a great love of music, you know. Yeah. So how did you get into acting? I went into the business. I couldn't afford drama school, so I worked backstage and moved the scenery, loaded up the trucks, and gradually got to know various people in the business and kind of moved on from there. Yeah.
So like one thing that everybody's talking about now, because I've been advertising this interview for quite a while, it's Quadrophenia's 51st anniversary. How did you get the part in that cult picture? How did it come about? Well,
I'd met a casting director called Patsy Pollock in the Social World of London. She was putting it all together, and we and I loved the album beforehand. I'd played it so many times. And so she called me up for an audition. I went up for Sting's part initially of The Face, but I didn't get that. But they said, did I want to kind of hang on with the film and just be there when they wrote various scenes, because they wrote some of it along the way. So there's myself and a few other actors. We all we were like a little sort of just a team of actors who could do it. So we were with the film all the way. And even though I didn't have a major role, it was my first main feature with some dialogue, which was great. A learning curve and an amazing experience down there in Brighton. Yeah, it was like a huge sort of team effort really, and the director was great, Frank Rodham. He encouraged us to be characters on the screen. We were pretty much like that off the screen as well.
I could believe it. Yeah. So it's actually got a really good cult following, the Quadrophenia scene. But you did also stand some more films as well, didn't you? There's been a few films that you've been in with American Werewolf in London. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, and I also made a film after Quadrophenia about the Beatles called The Birth of the Beatles.
That's the one,
which I played George Harrison. Yeah.
That was a BBC doc. Was that made by the BBC? Yeah,
it was a BBC drama. Yeah, directed by Richard Marquand, who went on to direct Return of the Jedi, which I also worked on. I only had a small part in that. Blink and you miss me. Yeah.
A little bit tells me that you had something to do with the film Flash Gordon. Is that correct?
Do you know what? That's amazing. Yeah, I was actually a prototype working with the art department under the direction of Danilo Donati, the world-renowned film art director. Yeah. And I was a prototype for the Hawkmen. So I was down there in Shepperton Studios being flown around, hoisted up by rope and flapping the wings, etc. Yeah, so I wasn't actually in the film, but I worked on the pre-production. So that was interesting. You worked on the
pre-production for it. Aye. That's still amazing, that mind. That's a lot of people wouldn't know that. So now next time you watch Flash Gordon, you go, I think John Altman did all that. Yeah, he was the one that
I was a prototype for the Hawkmen. I was up there before Brian Blessed.
Right, now here in the UK, most people know you as Nasty Nick Cotton from EastEnders. How did you get that role?
Oh, my agent sent me along and told me to dress accordingly, leather jacket, tight blue jeans and boots, put an earring in and be a little bit, go as an EastEnder, because they wanted genuine EastEnders. So I put on the accent and I had to read some script. I met the producer, Julia Smith, Tony Holland. They created EastEnders, and I gave it all I had because I hadn't worked for about a year. I've done one commercial, I think, for Gillette razor blades or something. And anyway, so got the part, and little did I know it would go on for so long. Yeah.
Well, you did do after EastEnders. You did did you get your own show? Is that correct?
I did a one-off, which was called The Return of Nick Cotton. I had my entire episode to myself, along with a few other actors, of course. Yeah. Like Frankie Fitzgerald, who played my son. So it's a good experience. It's like doing repertory theatre, when you have to learn so many lines, do so many different plays. When you're working on a soap opera, it's non-stop. You're learning lines every day, more or less. And once you've learned one block of 3 episodes, you've got another lot coming under the door. So it's quite hard work. Glamorous it isn't.
Well, I know that there's some people who are fans of soap operas who actually think it's real. So were you ever approached in the streets or shouted at by anybody thinking that you were actually that person?
Yeah. I mean, even though I've been in it for a few years now, people still come up to me or shout stuff out from cars or whatever. And even I cycle. I enjoy cycling a lot. And even if I've got a cycle helmet on and a COVID-19 mask wrapped around my face, people still go, "Oi, Nick, all right, mate?" I think it must be the evil eyes that they can see. There you go. But I've been. I'd like to mention the fact that I'm just releasing a single record on Friday this week called "Hallucinating You." I don't know if you know about that. My first ever self-penned single, and that's coming out, and the video on Friday, so that'll be available on all good streaming sites. And an album, 20th of November, Never Too Late to Rock and Roll. Culmination of my musical career, which has been bubbling under my acting career for many years now.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring that up because you started singing with the Heavy Metal Kids back in 2010.
Yeah, I've done a lot before that, actually. I'd had my own band in the summer of punk in London, and I had a band called the Hitmen, and also another band called Resurrection with Phil Brown, who used to be in the Records, and a guy called Brady, who was with Reckless Eric, and someone called John Brown. And so I've been doing it for quite a long time. Yeah. So
tell me more about this new single. Why now, and what's it about?
Well, it's as I say, it's an original single. I wrote it with Phil Brown and Ewan Brady, and it's called "Hallucinating You," and it's all about, when you walk down the street and you think, "Oh, that looks just like my Uncle Ted over there," and you catch up with him, and it's somebody else completely different. Or you see a girl from behind, you think, "Oh, that looks very like the girl I went out with about 6 months ago," and you catch up with them, and it's not that person. And you imagine somebody, but they're not, when you catch up with them. So it's a bit, that's kind of what it's about, hallucinating you. Yeah.
So the video gets launched the same day as the single, is that correct?
Sorry?
The video will be launched on the same day as the single, or does the video follow?
Yeah, the video is on the same day as the single, yeah. Friday the 16th, yeah.
Friday the 16th. Yeah. So where will it be available? Can they get from all usual download places, Apple and stuff like that?
Yeah, all the usual sources such as Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, and all the rest of it. Yeah.
So
unfortunately, it won't be I don't think it'll be in the shops because they don't do that anymore.
No, I know. I miss going to the old record shops, spinning
Me
through
too.
It used to be great, man.
We've got one in Kingston.
Kingston, yeah.
Where I live, which is good. I found an HMV in Basingstoke the other day. Yeah.
Trouble is, I should have kept my collection. I had hundreds of records, and I got shot of them, and now they're all starting to come back again, which is a right pain, I tell you.
I know. I've still got mine stashed away in some boxes. I've got quite a collection, actually. So
So
some of those would be worth a few quid,
Oh, it will be now, yeah. So quickly, because I know that you push for time, how can our listeners follow you, and what social media platforms do you have?
Yeah, I do have a website, and also I put posts out on Instagram, Twitter, but. And my website girl, Rachel Doyle, she puts stuff out on Facebook for me. So, I don't actually do Facebook myself. It's all a matter of time, really. I don't get time to do all these things. But I've been posting trailers for the single recently, if anybody's been following Instagram and Twitter recently. So,
Well, I'm on Twitter.
Snippets of what's to come.
Well, I'm on Twitter, but I don't know how to use it. I'm totally lost with it. And I've had the Twitter account for weeks, months, sorry, and I just don't know how to use it. I just like post one thing and then forget about it. Well, finally, is there any shout-outs or messages you would like to give to our listeners?
Any shout-outs? Oh, that's very kind of you. Well, I'd just like to say I hope you enjoy the album when it comes out. I've spent about a year and a half putting all that together, and I'm very, very excited about it. And it's quite a mixture of different types of music. There's some rock on there, a bit of blues, and well, there's the Hallucinating You, the single. So I'd just like to say when it comes out, I hope you enjoy it, and keep well. Yeah, and be careful these days.
Yeah. Just a quick one, right? Because it just came to mind. This. Do you have any? How can I put it? If any of our listeners wanted to become an actor, what advice would you give them?
Well, if you really want to do it, but mind you, these days it's hard enough when things weren't surrounded by the COVID-19. But you can, if you're young, form a drama group at school just to get some experience. And if there's a local theatre group, join that. If there isn't one, form one yourselves. And just start in a small way, I guess. And if you can't afford to go to drama school, because it's quite expensive when things get back to normal, I would recommend to do what I did. Just ring around as many theatres as you can. And when I was in the south, I ended up in Leeds Grand Theatre as a touring theatre. So we'd have all different shows in, comedies, ballets, thrillers, you name it. And I worked backstage there and got into the business that way. I just met people and sort of moved on gradually from working backstage to a few walk-ons. And I did some classes as well. There are often drama classes available if you look them up on the internet. So that's about it, really. Yeah.
Well, John, it's been absolutely brilliant chatting with you. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Okay, Steve.
Yeah, you take care now, all right? And I'll be playing your new single, once I receive it, mate. It'll be absolutely brilliant. It's been chatting to you.
Okay, excellent. All right.
Many thanks, John.
So all the best to you. Yeah.
All the best.
Thank you very much.
Care.
Good to talk
Stay
to you.
safe.
Take care now.
Bye-bye now. Bye.
Bye.